Lights up on the exterior of a house, somewhere in a quiet neighborhood. We can hear birds chirping and some slice of life coming and going on around us, such as cars driving by, dogs barking, kids playing, people talking, etc. Soon, onto the stage comes CJ, aged 13. He is a clean cut looking boy and he walks to center stage in silence, though he seems to have something he wants to say and is trying the best he can to gather the words to say it. He finally stops dead center, inhales, then exhales, before finally speaking.
I've been trying to find someone to tell this story to, and find some way to gather my thoughts about it. That way I can tell it the right way. It happened months ago, but the events are still fresh in my mind. It all happened so fast. Sometimes it barely even registers to me. But you see, a few months ago, I fell in love for the very first time with a girl named Jane.
CJ, with a big smile on his face, continues to talk as he walks about on stage.
Yep, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was outside just taking in the fresh air of a summer day when I saw the moving trucks parked outside the house across the street from mine. Huh, moving trucks. Our new neighbors are here. Cool, I wonder who they'll be. Knowing this street, it'll probably be a cute little old elderly couple or something. Spoiler alert, it was not a cute little old elderly couple. In fact, it was a younger mom, a boy who was around 7 or 8, and his older sister.
Yoo-hoo! Excuse me?
CJ does a double take at this greeting. Then, soon, a girl comes walking onto the stage, very demurely, very prettily. CJ looks in awe, smitten, almost love at first sight bliss, as, with the opening strains of the song Sweet Jane by the Velvet Underground play, the girl comes fully center stage. No doubt about it, this is the Jane that CJ mentioned a few minutes prior. CJ's eyes twitch smittenly, and his mouth opens, but no sound comes out as Jane stops before him with a smile.
Hi there. Maybe you could help me?
I, uh,
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah, yes, I can definitely try and help you. What's your name?
I'm Jane. My family and I moved in across the street.
That's a pretty name.
Thank you. So, do you happen to have a name, sweetie?
Huh? Oh, yeah, I'm CJ. It's nice to meet you, Jane.
Likewise. Tell me, are your parents home? And do you happen to know offhand if the people in the other houses are around or home or out? My mom is making a big batch of brownies and she wants to give a plate of each of them to our neighbors as a sort of, hello from your new neighbor's gift.
Gosh, that's pretty nice of your mom. Usually it's the other way around. Everyone else should bring welcome gifts to you.
Oh, that sort of thing doesn't matter. My mom just really likes to bake. It's her pleasure.
Huh. So, do you help her bake?
I do, yes.
Well, then I bet these brownies will be the best tasting brownies I've ever
Are you flirting with me?
had. No, of course not. But if I was flirting, would you mind?
No, I wouldn't.
Oh, wow, wow. I mean, cool.
So, how old are you, CJ? I was hoping there were some others around here my age.
Well, I'm 13. What about you?
I'm 15.
15?
Mm-hmm.
This was uncharted territory for me. This was no ordinary meeting. This was an older woman. Woman.
Who are you talking to?
No one. I'm guessing me being 13, you being 15 isn't exactly ideal. You probably want to talk to a fella closer to your age, or a girl closer to your age.
I mean, it's not a big deal. It's not like we're 10 years apart. It's just 2 years age difference. I don't see the problem.
You don't? I mean, oh, cool.
You're funny. And you're awfully cute, too.
Slowly, Jane looks over her shoulder as if someone is calling out to her.
Come here, Mom! I've gotta go. My mom is signaling for me to come. Probably to start baking. But I'll see you around, okay?
CJ mutely nods in smitten awe as Jane giggles, waves, and goes off. CJ silently, smittenly waves by, then turns to the audience, stumbling away a few steps as he does.
Oh, holy crap. Wow. She said it was funny and cute too. A girl who's 2 whole years older than me thinks I'm cute? My friends are never gonna believe this. Yeah, I had it bad for Jane. Like, really bad. And for the next few days, seeing her all over town made me get it even worse. Not that I minded, of course.
Quick blackout. Soon, we see various vignettes go on around the stage. First, CJ is walking along the stage with Jane walking the opposite way. The two lock eyes as Jane smiles and waves at CJ, then goes off. CJ, in a blissfully smitten trance, waves back, his eyes glued to Jane, as he clunks into a nearby lamppost and stumbles back a few steps.
Ow.
Blackout. A second vignette. CJ walks out of a grocery store carrying two large bags of groceries. He carefully walks as soon Jane is seen walking into the grocery store. She pats CJ on the shoulder in greeting and smiles, then goes off. CJ, awed, grins and waves, causing himself to drop the groceries with a loud thud. A beat. CJ looks down at the spilled contents, then to the audience.
Crap.
Blackout. Our third vignette soon pops up, with CJ walking along the stage as an old man sweeps his storefront center stage. Jane soon walks by and, spotting CJ, she smiles and waves.
Hi, CJ.
Hi, Jane. Oh, wowie.
In CJ's awe and smittenness, he leans against the old man, who gives CJ an angry look. Hey, what's the matter with you, eh? You crazy kid?
Oops, sorry, Mr. Falcone.
CJ hurries off, mortified. Blackout. We soon hear CJ's voice narrating as we scene change into his room. CJ is currently sitting on his bed reading a comic book silently.
It was getting to the point where I was imagining Jane popping up in my own room.
Suddenly, a nearby mirror seems to change, and we can see Jane within the reflection. She looks to CJ and gives a flirty smile.
Yoo-hoo.
CJ glances up from his comic book, then does a double take as he sees Jane. In a happy trance, CJ grins and gets up from his bed and goes to the mirror as Jane giggles and beckons him closer. When CJ is face to face with Jane, he grins and puckers his lips out, a somewhat comedic pucker, and leans in, making a few kissing noises as he does. The lights black out briefly, and when they come back on, Jane is gone, and CJ has planted a kiss to his own reflection in the mirror. He opens his eyes and, in horror, he breaks off from the mirror and wipes his mouth.
Ew. Ugh, CJ, what are you doing? Kissing your own mirror when you think Jane is there? Oof. I think it's safe to say I have Jane on the brain. Jane on the brain. I'm a poet, and I didn't know it.
A quick blackout and scene change, and we're back out to the outside. CJ walks onto the stage, and Jane comes on from the opposite side. CJ spies her and nervously exhales.
There she is. I've just got to ask her. Jane. Hey, Jane. Yoo-hoo.
Oh, hi, CJ. What's up?
Jane, I was just, wondering something.
Oh?
Yeah.
So,
What?
what were you wondering?
Oh, right. Sorry, and I'm just kind of nervous. That's all.
There's nothing to be nervous around me, CJ. Go on. Tell me what's on your mind.
Well, I was wondering if maybe this Saturday you'd like to go see a movie with me, and afterwards we could get some dessert or something.
A date?
Well, yeah, I guess it would be a date.
Oh,
Oh, I'm bombing big time. This was a bad idea. Jane, never mind. Forget I asked. I can tell you'd rather not, and that's fine.
CJ. I'd like to, very much. See a movie with you, that is. I think it'll be fun.
Really? I mean, awesome. Yeah, so I'll meet you at the movie theater, say 6 o'clock.
Sounds like a plan to me. See you then, CJ.
Jane smiles and she and CJ lock eyes. CJ is mesmerized, and in his bliss, he closes his eyes and puckers his lips out eagerly for a kiss. But Jane has gone off, leaving CJ standing in place, his lips puckered, for several moments. He finally unpuckers, but still has his eyes closed.
Jane?
CJ finally opens his eyes. No Jane. He sheepishly looks to the audience.
Well, I looked like a big crazy moron there. But wow, a date! She said yes! Woohoo! I can't wait.
Brief blackout and scene change. CJ is soon lit up standing outside of a movie theater, dressed to impress, and eagerly waiting as we hear him narrating in a voiceover.
I counted down the days till that Saturday with glee. And finally, the big day came. As I went to the movie theater and waited. And waited. And waited. And waited.
As CJ says this in voiceover, he does several different waiting poses, looking more and more upset as it goes on.
Pretty soon, an hour had passed, and still no Jane. It was beginning to become very clear to me. I could ignore it no longer.
Away from voiceover, on stage, CJ angrily stands up and he shouts.
She stood me up!
With that, CJ angrily storms off. Blackout and scene change. It is now a few days later, and Jane is sitting on a bench in a park, but she is not her usual cheery, sweet self. She wears big sunglasses and a light scarf wrapped around her head. She is shaking in fear and anxiety as she sits by herself. Soon, CJ comes walking on. He spots Jane and, frowning, he approaches her, pointing a shaking finger at her.
Oh, there you are.
CJ,
Well, hello there, miss. I'll see you on Saturday. How are things?
CJ,
Save me whatever excuses you might have. You know, if you didn't want to go see a movie with me, you could have just said so. Standing me up was really messed up, and I don't appreciate it.
CJ, there was a very good reason why I missed the movie.
Oh, is there? Please, do tell. Tell me what kind of dumb reason you had. Did you need to do your hair that night? Did you break a nail? Or did you decide you didn't want to see me because I'm younger? Is that it? I mean, yeah, I get it. I'm 13, you're 15, but you said so yourself it didn't bother you. So what's the hold up then? Huh? What kind of silly excuse are you cooking up to tell me?
I do not have to stay here and let you lecture me. I'm leaving.
No, not until you tell me what the heck is going on here. Go on, say it. Say it now. Don't just stand there stalling. Say it. Say it.
Fine. Here.
Jane angrily rips off her sunglasses and scarf to reveal a very black, very bruised right eye and cheek, as well as a small cut on her forehead. She points to her face with a shaky finger as CJ steps back in shock and gasps.
Jane.
You see all this? This is why I couldn't see you on Saturday, because I had to deal with my father, my psycho, horrible, evil father, who used to abuse me and my mother and my younger brother, catch us all and find our house, and beat us. He hit me, my mother, and my younger brother last night. Most of this was from me begging my father to hit me rather than my brother. My father escaped and we all went to the hospital for our injuries. So, Mr. Tough Guy, Mr. Why didn't you show up, Jane? You wanted your reason? There. This is your reason.
Jane, oh my God, I didn't know. I'm so sorry.
No, you just automatically assumed that I stood you up to be a cold-hearted jerk, when actually, I was looking forward to the movies. But seeing your true colors here, I'm glad my father showed up. I'm glad I didn't see you. I don't think I ever want to see you again for that matter.
Tears flood Jane's eyes, and she chokes out a sob and runs off as CJ, frozen to his spot in shock, calls after her.
Jane, no, wait, wait. Oh my God, I'm such a piece of crap.
CJ rushes off the opposite side. Blackout, and we soon hear CJ narrating via voiceover.
Yeah, because of my boneheaded, insecure, jerkish talk, Jane ran off, and for days I tried to talk to her, but she was seemingly nowhere to be found. I thought I had lost her trust and respect in record time from meeting her. About a week went by, and soon I saw a for sale sign in front of Jane's house. I was shocked, stunned, devastated. They were moving away? So soon? If that was the case, I wanted to find Jane, so I could at least say goodbye, as well as apologize.
Lights up on the park again. Jane sits staring straight ahead, lost in thought. CJ, looking sad and resigned, slumps on. Soon, he spots Jane and he sighs a relieved sigh.
Jane, thank goodness.
CJ slowly goes up to her and stands before her in silence for a few moments. Jane, feeling CJ's eyes on him, turns to look at him.
Hi,
Hi.
may I?
CJ motions to the spot next to Jane. Jane silently thinks it over for a moment, then she nods and pats the spot next to her twice. CJ sits next to her in silence for a few moments. Neither makes a move to talk or move, at least not yet.
Nice day out.
Yes, very.
Not too hot, not too cold. Perfect for summer.
Mm-hmm.
Jane, I'm sorry I lost my temper with you a few days ago. I was wrong. Completely wrong.
It's okay. I'm sorry too.
You don't have to apologize.
I feel like I should. I got heated at you when you had no idea what happened. I should have been calmer.
Jane, please. I was a big jerk. I should have been calmer. You had every right to be mad.
Let's just agree that we both should have been calm.
So what happened then, Jane? How did all this go down? If you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to, of course.
No, no. I think you deserve an explanation. I trust you enough where I feel like I can tell you. My dad and mom's divorce was a messy one. Very negative one. It happened 2 years ago. And in those 2 years, my dad has made it his mission to torment all of us, to try and get revenge on us, so destroy our house or battle all of us until we move to a different town. Out of sheer fear, and yet, he always seems to find us. And a few days ago, it was no different. And we all thought we were so careful this time. But I guess we were wrong.
Oh gosh.
I'm fine now. My family's fine too. My dad, for now, seems to have left town. It's alright. Thank you for coming to find me.
Of course.
My family and I, we're leaving tomorrow. We're going to my grandmother's house in Phoenix.
I saw the for sale sign in front of your house.
It'll be the 7th time we had moved in 4 months. 7! Can you believe it?
If what you're saying about your dad is true, I believe it.
And just when I found a new friend, too.
Yeah. Jane, could I ask you something?
Of course.
If our movie date had, actually ended up happening, do you think me and you could have...
No.
No?
CJ, you're very sweet and kind. and you're the first person I felt friendly with in a long time. With a 2-year age difference, 13 and 15, it wouldn't work. Unfortunately, and even ignoring that, this whole situation with my father, I feel like it would have been a when, not if, we would have to leave the town again.
Right.
But I do consider you a good friend, and I always will.
I'll take that, for sure.
Thank you. I need to get back home to start packing.
Okay, if you need any help, just let me know.
Jane smiles and nods. Then she slowly leans in and kisses CJ on the cheek, letting it linger for a few seconds before breaking off. CJ touches his hand to his cheek, then he blushes and smiles.
Bye.
Bye.
Jane gets up and goes off, but looks over her shoulder and smiles at CJ one last time before fully exiting off. CJ gets up and goes to center stage, pulling out a piece of paper from his pocket as he does.
Jane and her family moved the next day, off to Phoenix. And much to my delight and surprise, she wrote a letter to me 2 weeks later. It said, Dear CJ, I hope you're doing okay. My family and I have settled into Phoenix. We're doing just fine. Good news, my father, a few days ago, he was picked up and arrested by the police.
Soon, Jane slowly comes on stage, and she takes over the letter dictation from CJ.
He was attempting to find us, but he got pulled over for speeding. They discovered that he had warrants for all of the times he stalked us. He's going to jail for a very long time. CJ, I just wanted to say above all else, thank you for your friendship. I know I was only in town for a brief time, but you were the kindest, sweetest boy I have ever met in all those places, too. Please take solace in the fact that you are an amazing guy, and that I'll always consider you a friend. Love, Jane.
Jane looks to CJ, smiles, then blows him a kiss and goes off. CJ smiles and looks to the audience, folding up the paper and putting it gently, carefully in his pocket, then patting said pocket as he does.
Goodbye, Jane. Sweet, sweet Jane.